I'm 105 years old, and if you're waking up 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a night to use the bathroom, I want you to know you're not alone. It's one of the most common complaints I hear from people over 60 and 70. You go to bed tired, ready to rest, and instead of deep sleep, you get broken sleep walking back and forth in the dark. After a while, it doesn't just disturb your nights, it steals your mornings, your energy, even your mood. You start to think, maybe this is just aging, maybe this is my new normal. But often there are simple things you can try that may make it better. And one of the most overlooked is how and when you drink water during the day. Now, before I go further, I need to say something clearly. What I'm sharing with you is general information and experience, not personal medical advice. Nighttime urination or nocturia can have many causes. It can be related to the heart, kidneys, prostate, bladder, medicines, blood sugar, and more. If you have sudden changes, pain, burning, blood in the urine, swelling, or dizziness, please talk to a doctor or urologist. They need to rule out serious problems. What I'm talking about here is the common pattern many older adults have. They drink most of their water late, they're a bit dehydrated all day, and then they're surprised when all that fluid shows up at night. You might be thinking, but I hardly drink anything in the evening. Why am I still waking up? That's a good question. The answer for many people is that it's not just what you drink after dinner. It's what you didn't drink before. A lot of older adults go through the day slightly dehydrated. They sip a little here and there, maybe forget, maybe don't feel as thirsty, and by late afternoon and evening the body's trying to catch up. When you finally sit down at home and start drinking more, your kidneys go to work and your bladder fills when you're supposed to be sleeping. It's not that your body is failing you. It's that the timing is working against you. A urologist once explained it to me with a simple picture. He said, imagine your bladder is like a sponge. If you leave that sponge dry all day and then dump a bucket of water on it at night, of course it will drip and overflow, but if you keep the sponge comfortably moist throughout the day, it won't have to deal with a flood at the wrong time. Many specialists now encourage their older patients to think less about drinking less at night and more about drinking smarter during the day. So how do you drink water in a way that may reduce those nighttime bathroom trips? I'll share a method that has helped many seniors. Again, this is general guidance that you can discuss with your own doctor to see if it's suitable for you. The first idea is to front-load your water intake. That means drinking most of your daily fluids earlier in the day instead of in the evening. For example, if your doctor has said a certain amount of water is safe for you, aim to drink roughly 60-70% of that before early afternoon. If you think in terms of 8 simple glasses, that might mean 4 or 5 glasses before 2 p.m., 1 or 2 glasses between 2 p.m. and early evening, and then only small sips after that if you're thirsty. That way your kidneys do most of their work while you're upright and active, and your bladder has more time to empty before bed. The second idea is to sip, not gulp. Many people wait until they feel very thirsty and then drink a whole glass at once. That sudden rush of fluid can go quickly to the kidneys and then to the bladder, which may trigger urgency. Instead, try sipping more slowly, say over 15 or 20 minutes. You'll still get the same amount of water, but your body has more time to absorb it and less reason to send it all straight to your bladder at once. The third idea, which some doctors and dietitians suggest when it's safe for a person, is to pay attention to how well your body holds onto fluid earlier in the day. For some people, a balanced electrolyte drink or a very small pinch of salt in their morning water used carefully can help the body keep fluid in the cells a bit better so it doesn't just rush straight out. This is not something to experiment with on your own if you have high blood pressure, kidney problems, or heart issues. It's something to ask your doctor about. The main message is you want your body to use the water, not just push it through. The fourth idea is to set a fluid curfew before bed. A common guideline many seniors find helpful is to stop drinking larger amounts about 90 minutes before you plan to sleep. If your bedtime is 10 p.m., that might mean finishing your last normal drink by 8:30 p.m. After that, if you're very thirsty, just take a few small sips rather than a full glass. This gives your bladder time to fill and empty before you lie down. It won't remove every nighttime trip for everyone, but for many it reduces how often they wake. I'll give you a real example of how changing water timing can help. I once spoke with a man in his 70s who had been getting up 4 times every night for years. He had tried herbal teas, strict bathroom schedules, even sleep medicines, but nothing really helped. When we talked, I asked him a simple question. When do you drink most of your water? He said, mostly after dinner. That's when I'm finally home and relaxed. So his poor bladder was quiet all day and flooded all evening. When he shifted and started drinking most of his water before early afternoon with just a glass at dinner and then very little after, he noticed that within a week he was often waking only once at night instead of 4 times. That one change didn't cure every issue in his life, but it gave him longer stretches of sleep, and that changed his days. There are a few other gentle hydration habits that can support you. Try to avoid caffeine later in the day because it can irritate the bladder and act like a diuretic, making you urinate more. Notice hidden liquids in your evening. Soups, juicy fruits, big bowls of watermelon or oranges late at night can add to your fluid load. Take your time emptying your bladder before bed. Don't rush away from the toilet. Some people also find that elevating their legs for 15-20 minutes in the early evening helps, especially if they have swelling in their ankles during the day. When you elevate your legs, some of that pooled fluid returns to circulation earlier, and you may urinate before bedtime instead of after you fall asleep. Remember, this is not a one-time trick. It's a habit shift. Your body often needs a week or two to adjust to a new watering schedule. If you try this for a single day, you may not notice much. But many older adults who truly commit to front-loading water, sipping slowly, cutting off fluids before bed, and addressing hidden evening liquids start to notice something they haven't felt in years. Longer, deeper stretches of sleep. Maybe the first time you sleep 4 or 5 hours straight without getting up. It doesn't feel like magic, it feels like relief. If you're tired, frustrated, and feel like you've tried everything, I want you to hear this. You are not broken. Your body is not your enemy. Often nobody has explained how simple timing changes can support what your bladder and kidneys are already trying to do. It's not just about how much you drink, it's about when and how you drink. So here's your gentle challenge for the next 5 days. First, drink most of your water before early afternoon. Aim for about 5 glasses before 2 p.m., if that amount is safe for you. Second, have one normal glass with dinner. Third, after that, only small sips, and stop all regular fluids about 90 minutes before bed. Fourth, each morning, write down how many times you woke to use the bathroom. Don't judge yourself, just observe. At the end of 5 days, look at the pattern. If you notice an improvement, you'll know your effort is working. If not, it's still useful information to share with your doctor. Your body has carried you a long way. It hasn't given up on you. Often it's just waiting for you to understand it a little better. If you're willing to experiment gently and pay attention, you may be surprised at how much difference a simple change in water timing can make. If this helped you, write in the comments, "I'm trying the water plan." It's a small promise to yourself, and I read those comments. And if you want more calm, natural guidance about aging well, sleeping better, and living with less fear and more understanding in the second half of life, you can subscribe and watch the other videos waiting for you. We may not control everything about aging, but we can learn to work with our bodies instead of against them. And that makes the journey much easier.